Chelsea have overtaken Manchester City as the football world's biggest spenders since 2010. The Blues' January transfer splurge, which saw Borussia Dortmund's Christian Pulisic and Juventus' Gonzalo Higuain join the Stamford Bridge club, has taken their overall spending since the turn of the decade to a whopping £1. £376 billion, Chelsea have now spent £37 million more than any other side on the planet, closely followed by fellow big spenders Barcelona and City. Exorbitant transfer fees are nothing new to modern-day football. In fact, 4 clubs have now spent north of £1 billion since the turn of the last decade. Recent transfer windows have seen French giants Paris Saint-Germain become the first club side to pay over £100 million for a player, when they smashed the previous record of £94. £5 million set by Manchester United and Paul Pogba by spending a mind-blowing £199.8 million on Neymar. But where do the rest of Europe's biggest football clubs rank? Here are the top 20 largest spenders in transfer markets since the start of 2010. Borussia Dortmund, £492.64 million. The German giants spent £27 million on Wolfsburg's Andre Schurrle in 2016. The current Fulham midfielder remains Dortmund's record arrival 3 years on. Faced with the prospect of toppling perennial Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, Dortmund have spent £81. £45 million this season, including £25.2 million on Mainz's former Monaco defender Abdou Diallo. Valencia, £504.83 million. Despite falling into financial turmoil in 2008, Valencia hit the jackpot when Singaporean businessman Peter Lim took charge of the club in 2014. Gonçalo Guedes has arrived at the Mestalla for £36 million from Paris Saint-Germain last summer, trumping Valencia's previous record of £27 million spent on Benfica's Rodrigo in 2015. Napoli, £521.97 million. While they may not have spent the amount of money certain clubs have on a single player, the Serie A side have accumulated their figure via the sheer amount of signings they have made. Napoli have signed 104 players since 2010, having previously broken the global transfer record in 1984 when they paid £11. £7 million for Diego Maradona. Napoli's current record remains the £35.1 million paid for the then Real Madrid forward Gonzalo Higuain in 2013. Tottenham, £530.98 million. Spurs hit the headlines over the summer for not signing a single player in the transfer market. However, the North London club have still spent a large amount since the turn of the decade. The £36 million spent on Davinson Sanchez in 2017 remains Mauricio Pochettino's side's record deal, closely followed by the £31. £5 million spent on Newcastle's Moussa Sissoko 1 year earlier. Everton, £538. 19 million Iranian businessman Farad Moshiri took control of the Merseyside club in February 2016 and has been responsible for signings including Richarlison, Yerry Mina, and Michael Keane. Gylfi Sigurdsson, signed for £44.46 million in 2017 from Swansea, remains the biggest purchase of the Moshiri era, as well as Everton's largest in their 141-year history. Arsenal, £607.15 million. The Gunners have famously been frugal with their money in recent years, but have still spent more than their North London rivals Tottenham. The £57.38 million paid for Borussia Dortmund's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in January 2018 stands as the most Unai Emery's side have spent in their history. Bayern Munich, £611.14 million. Bayern Munich have perhaps received the best value for money. Spending just £611.14 million since the turn of the decade, the Bavarians have won a successive 6 Bundesliga titles for their troubles. Their latest signing, Lucas Hernandez, announced on Wednesday afternoon, arrives from Atletico Madrid for a club record £72 million deal, almost doubling the previous record set by Corentin Tolisso in 2017. Monaco, £648.16 million. Monaco burst back onto the transfer scene when they were acquired by Russian businessman Dmitry Rybolovlev in December 2011, signing Atletico Madrid's Falcao for £38. £7 million in Porto's James Rodriguez for £40.5 million in the summer of 2013. The latter remains the club record signing. However, in that same time, the Principality club have recouped a lot of that expenditure, with £777. £82 million received by Monaco through player sales since their Russian takeover. 12. AC Milan, £674.21 million. AC Milan's acquisition of Juventus' Leonardo Bonucci, who has since returned to Turin, in 2017 for £37. £8 million remains the club's largest ever signing. The Milanese club have been busy in the latest transfer window, spending a combined £63 million on Genoa's Polish wonder kid Krzysztof Piatek and on Flamengo's Lucas Paqueta. Inter Milan, £681.52 million. AC Milan's cross-city rivals, Inter, have also been big spenders since 2010, despite being owned by 4 different regimes since the turn of the decade. However, their record signing is still the £41.83 million spent on Christian Vieri back in 1999. In recent seasons, João Mario and Rodney England have become the latest high-profile names to join the San Siro-based club for £36 million and £34. £2 million respectively. 10. Atletico Madrid, £688.74 million. Diego Simeone's side spent £63 million to bring Thomas Lemar to the club from Monaco in the summer, which surpassed the £59. 4 million spent to pry Diego Costa away from Chelsea in January 2018 as the club's record transfer. Spending big in an attempt to usurp City rivals Real Madrid, a Premier club, Atletico have spent big since 2010 to attract the likes of Radamel Falcao, Antoine Griezmann, and Kevin Gameiro to the Spanish capital. Roma, £729.31 million owned by an American investment group since 2011. Roma have recently spent £23. £99 million on former Stoke midfielder Steven Nzonzi and £22.23 million on Javier Pastor in their attempt to catch Juventus at the top of the Serie A table. However, the club based in the Italian capital had yet to eclipse their spending of the early 2000s, which saw a club record £32. £54 million spent on Gabriel Batistita in 2001. 8. Real Madrid, £837.46 million. The Spanish giants, who have won the Champions League a record 13 times, held the global transfer record until 2016 for their signing of Spurs' Gareth Bale for £90. £90 million in 2013. Real have already spent just short of that amount for the upcoming season, with Porto's Eder Militao and Santos Rodrigo scheduled to join Zinedine Zidane's side for a combined £85. £50 million. 7. Liverpool, £965.50 million. The Fenway Sports Group purchased Liverpool in 2010 for £300 million. Following a drawn-out legal battle between the Royal Bank of Scotland and previous owners George Gillett and Tom Hicks. The £70.92 million spent on Virgil van Dijk in January 2018 remains the Reds' record arrival. Juventus, £982.26 million. Juventus stunned the world of football when they signed Cristiano Ronaldo from Real Madrid last summer, for a fee reported to be around £105. £3 million. The amount paid for the Portuguese attacker eclipsed the £81 million the Italian club parted with in 2016 for Gonzalo Higuain from domestic rivals Napoli. Manchester United, £993.45 million. Former United boss Sir Alex Ferguson had an infamously tense relationship with the club owners, the Glazer family, who controversially bought United between 2003 and 2005. The Red Devils spent only £151.25 million in Ferguson's last 3 years at Old Trafford, between 2010 and 2013, but have gone on to spend a huge £842. £2 million since the Scot left the club. United have spent large amounts on the likes of Angel Di Maria, who joined for £67. £5 million in 2014 from Real Madrid, and Romelu Lukaku, who was signed from Everton in 2017 for £76. £23 million. Until 2017, Manchester United possessed the global transfer record for their acquisition of former youth team product Paul Pogba for £94. £5 million from Juventus in 2016. 4. Paris Saint-Germain, £1.156 billion. Paris Saint-Germain were taken over by Qatar Sports Investments in 2011 and became one of the richest clubs in world football. A splurge of spending soon followed, including the acquisition of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva from AC Milan for a combined £56. £70 million. However, the Qatar-backed club have taken it up a notch in recent years with the current world record signing of Barcelona's Neymar in 2017 for £199. £80 million, as well as securing the services of Kylian Mbappé from Monaco for £162 million in 2018. With the ultimate aim of winning the Champions League proving as of yet elusive, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United most recently dumping the Parisians out of the competition, Paris Saint-Germain may soon return to the transfer market. Manchester City, £1.330 billion since their acquisition by the Abu Dhabi United Group in 2008, when the citizens announced their arrival on the world stage by pipping Chelsea to the signing of Robinho. Manchester City have been one of the biggest spenders in global football. City have accumulated the majority of their spending since 2010 since Pep Guardiola has been at the club, spending £547. £28 million since the former Barcelona and Bayern Munich manager arrived at the Etihad Stadium. The largest fee paid for a single player under Guardiola is the £61.02 million paid to Leicester in the summer of 2018 for the services of former Premier League Player of the Year winner Riyad Mahrez. However, the £68.40 million spent to lure Kevin De Bruyne to Manchester in 2015 from German outfit Wolfsburg remains City's transfer record 4 years later. Barcelona, £1.339 billion with money burning a Neymar-sized hole in their pocket in 2017. Barcelona made up for the loss of the Brazilian by signing the duo of Ousmane Dembele and Philippe Coutinho for a total £229. £50 million, the former Liverpool man, Coutinho home, remains the Catalan club's record signing, arriving at the Camp Nou for £121. £50 million, Barcelona have been consistent high spenders across the entirety of the decade, spending £79. £38 million on Neymar in 2013 and £73.55 million in 2014 on Liverpool's Luis Suarez. Ajax's Frankie de Jong is the latest high-profile arrival in Catalonia, with the 22-year-old slated to arrive in Barcelona for a bumper £67. £5 million deal. 1. Chelsea, £1.376 billion. Whilst there have been some suggestions that Roman Abramovich may be losing interest in Chelsea, who purchased the West London club in 2003, the figures suggest otherwise. Spending just £572.02 million in his first 7 years at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have now become the planet's largest spenders since the turn of the decade. The Blues started the decade as they meant to go on, signing Fernando Torres for £52. £65 million in 2011 from Liverpool, for what was then a record fee paid by a Premier League club. Keeper Arrizabalaga is Chelsea's record arrival, having joined the club for £72 million from Athletic Bilbao last summer. The Spaniard in the process became the world's most expensive goalkeeper, having surpassed the £56. £25 million Liverpool paid for Alisson,